Well, all right. We're about to get underway with my very first tumbling of any rocks of any kind. So I'm going to go through and pick out some of the ocean picture stone that I want to put in. And then we're going to throw in all the stones that came with it. And I have my ceramic media that you fill in the space to make the difference up in the tumbler. If you saw the first video, you saw that they sent us the 4 packages of the grits, but for a 3-pound tumbler, if you have it full, then you should be having 3 tablespoons of grit in your first 2 steps, from what I understand of this stuff. And so that's not enough. That's maybe 1.5, if that, tablespoons in that stuff. So I went to the Harbor Freight and bought this. This is basically $16 with tax for a box of the 4 grits. And it comes in the 2 4-ounce packages of the initial, there's the fine grit and the coarse grit. You start with that, then you follow up with the fine grit, and then you go with your pre-polish, which is just the super fine dust now, and then the polish, which these should be actually like micron sized particles for the best result. So I'm going to go through that and figure out which ones are, like I said, of my, I don't want to do all the ocean picture stone, just some of the select ones. And we'll get it underway. This tumbler, like I said before, it runs a lot faster, apparently, from what I understand, than the normal tumblers. So it will go through this grit instead of being 5 days or 4 days to get through the first run. You have to go in and change the grit basically after 3 days, because it is already run down to where it is not. It's not doing anything anymore. It becomes it's slick. So that's what happens with it. It will speed it up. It will also speed up the process of getting this done, I think, to some degree. But we're going to be doing the. I've also seen the videos where I think I said on the first time they do the burnish, where they add the soap to the rocks between each course of grits, and it gets them totally clean, because you apparently don't want any kind of contamination from one grit to the next, or it will leave your stones hazy and not with that glassy surface finish look. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and we'll pick out some rocks and get it underway. All right, we've got our rocks here. These are the rocks that came with the National Geographic bag, and you can see when they're wet down, they are pretty cool. We've got the nice big blue-green one there. I think this is the black jasper. That one, I believe, is the tiger eye, tiger eye, I think they call it. There's our rose quartz piece, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if this is a red jasper, maybe. And I'm not sure what these indigo blue ones are, but they're beautiful. And they've got some cool coloring in them too. You can see the look there. And then we've got a nice piece of the amethyst with the quartz combined. So that should be a neat polish. And you've got a bunch of small chips in here. I'm not sure how that'll turn out. I think that is an agate. I'm not sure. I believe. And then they've got this Dalmatian stone here. I forget exactly what it's called. It's Dalmatian something, but you can see there's a bunch of that in here. And again, I'm not sure if that's a jasper there. I just don't know rocks that well. I'll have to get more educated on this. And of course, my big boy Irwin there is he's got to be right in the middle of everything. Yes, that's the box. You're going to try to climb into that. He has to climb into every box, of course. You know how they are. So that is our selection for that. This weighs, they send you a ½ pound. I just weighed it in the scale. It weighs 0.9, 9 ounces. And then these are the 7 ocean picture stones that I've chosen to try this. I've got 8 left. And like I said, these are from HURD. And actually, they're not showing up that good in this light as I thought they would. But that's a big square piece. And these are some that didn't really have that clear of an ocean picture look to them. This one does have a lot of the sea and land and sea kind of look to it, or land and sky. But it's a flatter piece, so we'll see what that comes out to. This one's just kind of like I said, it's more of a nondescript. I got fuzz over there. I hate fuzz. And then we've got a piece here that's a kind of a neat. It's got the rust in it, set in it, so it's like I said, nothing too spectacular to run through. That's one that's it's got a few different colors in it. And then I'm going to add one of my dark amethysts that I have from the. It was either from Gizmo or might have been from Pan in a Can. That's another piece of the. No, this is actually something that was in my. Yeah, that's a piece of the ocean picture stone. We're going to try there too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 of those, and then I've got a little piece of turquoise that came. I believe that was in a Gizmo bag. That was in a Gizmo bag. The little smaller amethyst quartz, and then some kind of white piece that I'm not sure what that is. But I know this ocean picture stone is hardness level 4. I'm not sure about the variety of this stuff in here, but hopefully it'll all be compatible. So we will. This is a 1 pound. I thought it was a 3 pound tumbler, but I thought it looked kind of small. But I looked through so many when I was doing this, getting this, that I got them confused, I guess. But yeah, this is the 1 pound tumbler. So we are going to turn on our scale here. And we'll put that on there and tear it out. 13 ounces for that. Actually, 1 pound of rocks. Yeah, not 1 pound total weight on all of it. It should hold 1 pound of rocks. So we'll tear it out. So I was thinking, damn, do I need to... if the tumbler weight counted towards your rock weight, so that lid fits on there very tight, which is good. Damage it first. Okay. And then you use the cap, the screw cap off of that to screw onto this to work this out easily. I'm just fumbling everything here. I'm used to the bigger gold stand having space to work. So, all right, so we will put in our ocean picture stone and our gems that we have from the pay dirt bags, and then we will add our, like I said, some really, really beautiful looking. I'll be really interested to see how that turns out. And you want to fill these up 3/4 of the way full, halfway to 3/4. So that's all of our pieces in there. And all together with that, well, something's wrong, because that's saying we weigh 7 ounces. And I know there's more weight than that in there. It's gotta be. All right, hold on, let's see. All right, well, when I tear out the scale, it comes to 1 pound 5 ounces. So, I mean, that's still, we're right where we need to be. We're a little short, right at half. So we'll definitely add some of our ceramic pieces here to it. And these, like I said, this is just filler that gives the grit more room to move in and acts as more substance and more content in there to keep your rocks so that you have enough to bang it around like they should. But I'm still just confused about our weight here. Okay, that weighs 7 ounces just for the drum. So we should tear that out. Add our rocks again here. All right, now that's more like it. Okay, 13 ounces. 13.5 ounces or so. Yeah, so, okay, 13.7. So we've got amount of, still have some room to add our material to here and be under a pound. So that's a bit over a pound there, and we still have to add water and grit, so we're not going to go any more than that. Actually, there's the National Geographic, because again, this is National Geographic's material here too. But let's just see what it says in there about it. Ceramic media. Grit can really mess up plumbing, so never pour it down your plumbing. Yeah, isn't that the truth? That would concrete up your drain for sure. So yeah, there it breaks down your grits and speeds and stuff. Just gives you some more detailed information, because the book really doesn't. On our National Geographic instruction book here, it's very basic on how to mix this stuff together. So all right, we're at 1 pound 1 ounce, and you're supposed to add 2 tablespoons of grit for every pound of material. Damn it. All right, well, let's dump out some of this. I've got our, like I said, this is our step 1 coarse grit. Let's see what it looks like compared to what we have from Harbor Freight. And yeah, you can see right there, they give you half of the amount of, not even a full tablespoon there. Half of the amount of the grit that's recommended for every pound of stone. So they sent you enough grit to do the half a pound of stones that they sent in, and a little less than what you need for it. So we'll put 1 in, and then good thing we've got our new bag here, which I'm going to have to start coming up with containers, because I can't keep this stuff sitting around open since it doesn't zip lock. We'll cut us a little notch and add us another. This stuff definitely looks coarser too. I can tell right now it is much coarser. And Erwin's wanting to know what he's missing. It looks like it is considerably coarser stuff than what we had in there. So we're going to add a little extra since we were short on that. And there we go. And like I said, we're going to expect this to run about 3 days before it breaks it down. Although again, I was looking at a different tumbler when it had the multiple speeds. This one only has the 1 speed that it runs at. You can set it for the number of days that you want to run it and on the memory on it. But there's our last little thing to go in there. But yeah, no, it is at 1 speed, so it may not burn it through quite as fast, but we will be checking it in 3 days, because it looked like it was moving pretty quick when I turned it on. So there you have 1 pound, 4 ounces of material. We're a little bit over, and the machine it'll turn itself off if this is too heavy. So, all right, well, it says to pour the water in, so it's just above the material. Or right at the material. So there you can see we're not over it. We've still got a few pieces that are in there. So now we're up to almost 1.5 pounds on this. So I might end up having to take out some of the National Geographic stones that are in there to make up the to reduce the weight. All right, now where's my little knob? Hold on. All right, I found my knob. So we'll put it on here so we get a good fit. I know one of the things they say is to make sure that your edge is cleaned off. You don't want any grit or anything in there that's going to compromise the seal around the edge. You can see that grit's floating in there. We might have a little more water than we need. It says to cover the material, but it's, like I said, we got our bigger pieces on top here, so we'll see. That's why I'm doing this video on this, because this is my very first time ever doing any of this. I've done some, like I said, I've watched a lot of videos now and done some research and seen the people that do this and get good results and how they get them and what their advice on doing this. So I'm not just striking out hoping I get it right for no reason. So if you're watching this and thinking about doing it, you're seeing how it goes with a newbie from the very start. And then this is the capper that makes sure that it seats everything in good. And you want to make sure that's squeezed it down around the top of that. And then we'll cinch it down with the, it seems like it'd be better. It's got the plastic ring there. I think on the metal, I think I would like it better if it had like a metal washer bottom type on it that spreads out the force a little wider on that instead of keeping it right in the center like that. But you can hear it's pretty quiet in there. You don't hear it rattling around very much at all as far as the sound from the unit goes. I mean, the sound inside the unit goes. So, all right, and what I'd seen from Dan HURD, he was complaining that, you know, these things, they don't have on-off switches. You have to plug them in to turn them on, at least the old style ones. This one has the little connector that plugs in with the right into your regular plug socket. And you plug it into the back of the unit, and it lights up like that. And then all the numbers here are for the number of days that you want to set your. So there I can set it for 3 up to 7 days. If you turn it on, once you start it, if you turn it off and start it back again, it resets the days to 1. So, but like this one, I'll have it set. We're going to let it run for 3 days. And there we go. And I don't know, that sounds pretty quiet to me. I can stick it in the back room, and it's sitting on a tray table rather than a solid desktop or where I'll have it. And oh, here comes Irwin. He's like, "What's this now?" But you can see it's moving pretty fast for a tumbler. That I've seen, it seems like it's moving pretty fast, but it doesn't seem to have any issues with the weight. And then there's the dreaded belt that go out on these so often. Hey, Irwin. And but there's not much tension on it. I mean, it's I thought there'd be a tensioner or something to tighten that up, but it seems to just be your basic drive on it, and it spins that as long as it's spinning that bar, and then you shut it off. So there we have it. I'm pretty happy with that. I think this is going to be fun. And yeah, it's a lot quieter than I expected it to be, so I'm very happy about that. Irwin's going to enjoy keeping up with it, apparently. So, all right, well, we're going to set it back in its spot in the room. I've actually got some like a styrofoam base. I was thinking I might set it on, because I've seen some of them that just walk. You know, they put them on the ground, on the floor, and they're just walking all over the place from the vibration, carrying this thing, moving it around. And was saying, don't set it on a shelf or a table, because it will walk off and fall and, you know, break it, bust it up. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to test it on my desktop there and see how if it'll keep from juking around. If not, I'm going to put it on a foam base, kind of contain it, and we'll let it run for 3 days and take a look at it. So thank you so much for joining me, and on this new little jaunt into into Stone's little offshoot of the whole gold venture. But yeah, I like the way that worked out in the setup. So we'll see we'll see how it does. And just a quick final shot. There we are on the desktop here, and it is sitting. I've got all these padded envelopes from all the shipments I get in from gold. So I've got them sitting on the padded envelopes that are actually kind of dampening the rumble on the desk, and it doesn't seem to be creeping along at all. It's staying right where I put it. So I think it's going to work out very nicely in here. And like I said, it's very quiet. Nothing like I was expecting. So I think this is going to work out great. So we'll be back in 3 days. And once again, just to show you, we are outside the door, right outside the door of that room where the tumbler's running. I don't know if you can hear anything at all. Maybe a low frequency kind of sound, but nothing at all. So very, very good. Erwin, you happy with that? Huh? You happy with that, big boy? Yeah, all right. But just to show you, people don't wonder about, they're noisy, and I don't, like I've always thought when I heard from the old ones, but apparently it's they're a lot better nowadays, a lot quieter. There you go, big boy. So, all right, just wanted to show that yes, it isn't bad to have them in your house. Well, we've been running for 3 days steady with the new tumbler. And I put a drop of water on there so you can see clearly how fast that thing is spinning. And our settings were set for 3 days, and it counts down. As you can see there, we're down to 1 day left, so it counts itself down, and then I guess it would shut off when it hit a full 24 hours today. It's a little bit early on that, I guess, so I'm going to kill it here, and we're going to open it up and see if our grit is turned to slick, or if it still has a little life left in it for another day. All right, we're out here on the gold stand, just because I don't want to do this in the house if it's going to be mucky, muddy, or slopping stuff around. Best we do it out here. So, all right, this is our first look of our first tumbling. Wow, look at that. Look, it's just a frothy mountain. You're supposed to reach down to the bottom, and if you still feel grit in there, but I mean, I would guess from the way this looks. Let's see, man, it's pretty full to get down there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling any grit really in any of that. So I guess it's time to rinse this out, and we'll check them over and see if we need to see what we need to do. All right. Well, there we have it. It's a mess. All right. We're not going to use that little strainer that they gave us. We'll use our regular gold strainer there. So let's pour this stuff out and run some water over there. These, of course, these have to be rinsed very thoroughly. I'm just doing this for the initial here. And let's take a look and see how our stuff is coming out here. Get this, I can move it and see. So I know I see people when they look at these, they check for any rough spots on them, because all this is supposed to do is be rounding off all the edges that we've been going through. There's our ocean picture stones here, and you can see that that's changed quite a bit since we started them. I guess this is where it comes into your judgment on how. I see we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had seven pieces of there's the other one of the ocean picture stone, and it's looking really cool. It's pretty. There's our cube, that cube piece that I should have measured that before I put it in there, just to see what the size would be when it was done. But you can tell it is already greatly reduced. Let's see. There's our little piece of turquoise, I guess, that we had going in there, and then those blue stones. There's my big amethyst, the dark one that I put in there. It's rounding off nice. There's the one that came with theirs, the white, the combination of the white and the purple, which is looking really cool. And then all of our little ceramic beads, as you can see, haven't worn at all. But yeah, and then these red pieces, like I said, I don't know if that's the red jasper, the green jasper, and the black jasper, or red I forget that now. I should have the book out here with me when I'm doing this. And there's the tiger eye, where we can see but you can still feel little bits of rough spots on them here and there. I think that's our piece of rose quartz. It's looking cool. So, I think it's ready to go ahead and hit it with the second grit, because I mean, there's still a little bit of inclusions in some of these, but I know you're not supposed to dry them up either. You're supposed to keep them wet all the time that you're doing this, in between stages, because that grit will dry on there and you'll never get it off, or it won't come off very well. There's another one of those smaller pieces of quartz that are around. And so, but yeah, I mean, that's not, get it where there's an angle where you can actually see it, but it is largely smoothed down. But like I said, I think there's a little piece of black, something that's in. Man, I just don't know if I want to risk wearing them down further with the heavy grit, or to go to that second stage grit now. So I think I'm going to go ahead and rinse them down real good, and we will start with the second grit, and then maybe run a little bit longer on it if we need to, just so we don't wear it down more than I want. Because like I said, there are already a lot of small pieces in here that are disappearing. But all right, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a heavy rinse. And actually, before we change grits, that means I will be adding a soap burnish to these to make sure that all the extra grits off of them before we start up with the second grit. So it'll run for 24 hours with the soap to clean it off, and then it'll go into the second grit. So, all right, there we go. But yeah, that is crazy how that stuff just was so foamy when we opened it up. Well, all right, so went through and thoroughly washed off our stones, blasted out the cup with the hose outside, plus I scrubbed it with the toothbrush and some of the stones in here to get more stuff off of them. I've already sliced up my bar soap to throw in there for the burnish. I wasn't really sure how much to use, but I figured this should be enough. The video I saw where they were using soap powder, they didn't use that much. So we will throw that in there. And then we will replace our, I didn't show before when I was looking at it. There's that agate that is polishing up. And we will return our pieces there. And we're still right at a half, oh, I'm sorry, I probably wasn't even missing that. I didn't realize I was zoomed in. We're at about a half full there, so I'm going to add some more of our ceramic filler material so we keep up to the right size. Not the right size, keep it at the right level. It says to be a half to 3/4 full. So that puts us up right at probably a little more than 3/4 now. We don't want to overload it or overweigh our... Like I said, this thing's been running like a champ for 3 days. It sounds like an air conditioner, window unit running more than anything else. It's very, very, I don't hear it at all. I'm real happy with it. I was figuring I'd have noise rattling all right through the house. So we're going to fill it up to, just like it says, right below the level of the rocks, and you can see we are right where we're supposed to be. Like I said, I cleaned all of this thoroughly because that's one of the main things is contamination of grit onto your next level. That, from what I understand, is the downfall of a lot of tumblers. People who tumblers, not the machine tumbler, but yeah, so that's why we're doing the burnish stage between each one of these, and make sure that we have no grit at all left in between stages. And then we push. You gotta push down on it and really get it down there where it's flush, because if the lid's not sitting on it exactly even all the way around, it will ride over to one side on your tumbler and wear down one of your grommets or something. Maybe they got little guides that keep it in line. Also, important thing is to make sure that your tumbler is level, because I had it sitting on those padded envelopes just to make sure that it just help absorb some of the vibration and keep it from wanting to, if it did want to walk around, those bubble envelopes would keep it from doing that. But it wasn't exactly level, so it was sitting to one side of the tumbler. So once I leveled it up, it stayed right in the center between the two guide grommets or washers, whatever they have, little guide things on it. So now we are tight. We are not leaking. And we are ready to go back on the machine for overnight until tomorrow. All right, well, we are good to go. Let's get her set back on here. Like I said, this little bar right here, these things have a lot of play in them. So they're not rubbing, even if they are touching. Like I said, they've got that place so it won't grind down. And there's no, I looked to make sure there was no rubber or anything that was grinding off of it or wearing off of it after the first few days here. And it's, like I said, it seems to be running like a champ. So we get it in position there, and we'll hit we're only going to let it run for 1 day, so it's on 1 day. We'll hit the set. Well, one, I guess it counted. And we're off to the races again. And there you can see the sides. See how, like I said, if this thing was leaning over, if it was leaning over to one side, it can push it over one way or the other, guide it. So, but it stays level. It stays pretty much right in the middle. And like I said, you can hear that's quiet. So, all right. Well, that completes stage 1 of our first grit, and we will be back with stage 2